give yourself these next 60 minutes to feel way better in your body. It will happen. It's going to happen fast. What do you got to lose? 60 minutes of time? No big deal, but you got a whole lot to gain. Check it out, and you'll see. You'll prove to yourself the benefits of your 1 hour long restorative yoga practice. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. I think that's the best part. You're incorporating your yoga into your life, just doing it every single day, I hope. A little bit here and there, living your yoga off of your mat, but doing it your way. And I'm here every day to guide you. And every day our practices are different. And every single day is different with your body. But one thing for sure is be consistent with your body. Be consistent in not hurting yourself. As the bottom of the screen says, do what is right for your body. If something hurts today, maybe it didn't hurt today, but it's hurting today, kind of take care of it. Breathe through these poses. That's the most important part of your yoga, is the breath, taking the time, being kind to you, and not hurting your body. So don't hurt whatever you do. Let's work on bringing some peace into our body today. All right, you're going to use some props for your restorative yoga practice. A nice big thick pillow or a bolster. We're going to use that. 2 yoga blocks are fantastic. Buy them if you don't have them. They're not very expensive. We use them in just about every practice. They can help you get into poses. They can enhance some poses. They're really a great prop to have, and they're not expensive, so that's wonderful. An eye shade and a little hand towel. We're going to use the eye shade a lot today to block out the outside world. If you have a little eye shade that's weighted, make yourself one with or like a little rice pillow. Really try to use that today. It really helps to have that weighted eye shade. And a blanket, and be near a wall. Okay, we're going to do 2 favorite poses today. Fish pose, everybody loves, and also a legs up the wall pose. So be near a wall. If you don't have a wall nearby, you can put your feet up against the counter or onto a sofa. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. Word to think about today as you practice is the word learn. Learn means to gain a habit by frequent exposure, and you'll become proficient at it. Think, as far as your yoga goes, think about being patient with yourself as you learn the yoga and being persistent in your practice. Those 2 P words, patience and persistence, and it will pay off. You know that. All right, let's start. Come on down to a pentacle pose. Bring your eye shade with you. Pentacle pose, what is that? Did I mention you might want to have some water nearby too? Pentacle pose, you come to fully reclined. Come onto your back, bring your eye shade, lock in a stress number. This is a little quantifiable measure to see how your yoga does for you. Scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, frowny face to smiley face. Give it a number, quick number, and come into your pentacle pose. Fully recline. Cover your eyes. You may even want to use your blanket and put it on your knees, your feet, as we learn to do our yoga. All right. Eyes are covered, arms down by your sides, maybe spread them a little bit, kind of like your final Shavasana. Or maybe take a full pentacle pose. And I don't know how this feels in your shoulders. Everybody's shoulders are different, so do what's comfortable. I'm going to send all 4 limbs to all 4 corners of the room. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. In through the nose, out through the mouth, sigh out the tension. Get comfortable. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring your awareness to your breath. Try not to think any thoughts. That's really hard. Thoughts are going to come. They're going to invade your practice hundreds of times in this practice. But as they come, let them go. Dismiss them. You'll come back to the thoughts when your body is done resting in this period of time, in this time you're taking for yourself. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel and imagine the heart within you beating in your chest. Focus only on the breath. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And try to find total stillness in your body for just a few minutes here. When and if it's comfortable for you, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose, taking deep breaths in and deep, slow breaths out. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slower breath out. As always, this is your yoga practice. You do what your body needs. Get your mind out of the way. Let your body feel what it feels. And maybe you just decide to stay here in this pentacle pose. Maybe you stay here for the whole practice. And that is A-okay. I'm going to come out of my pentacle pose and come into a child's pose on the bolster. If you'd like to join me, let your arms float down by your sides. Maybe remove your eye shade or your little towel and your blanket. Just put it aside. Roll on over, find your bolster and a block and maybe your eye shade or your towel. I'm going to bring the block to the top at its medium height, top of my mat. I'm going to work my bolster down well between my knees so I can rest my whole torso on the bolster. Maybe the eye shade is a little pillow, maybe cover your block with a little towel, and come on down to your child's pose. Hello to Betty. Betty, I'm glad that you're here, and it's stressful weather. Oh my gosh, yes. Lynn, Stan, Tammy, Elizabeth, Kelly, Margarita, I'm glad you're here. All right, come on down. This is your child's pose. So just settle in here. Knees are bent. Maybe your big toes touch, or because the bolster is so low, they don't quite touch. But just get the bend going on the knees. Let your head rest comfortably, your forehead onto the block. Arms wherever you like. And just really let the chest go. Let the chest rest on the bolster. I've got to scoot my block up a little bit higher so my chest can really rest here. Arms wherever you like. Eyes closed. Breathe deeply out the backs of your lungs. Feel your ribs expand to the sides of your mat and up toward the sky. As you let the spine lengthen, the knees enjoy the bend, the ankles enjoy the stretch, and you find peace in your body. I'll let you know in a few minutes when it's time to come out of your child's pose. Deepen your breath and allow your whole trunk to rest completely on the bolster. Just let go. Release. Is your head heavy on the block? Is your chest really heavy on the bolster? Big breath in. Big breath out. Just a few more breaths and heaviness here until we move on to the next pose, if you wish. This is your child's pose on the bolster, and it is absolutely perfect. Maybe you would wish to stay here longer, and if that's what you like, do it. The next pose I'm going to take is another pentacle to just kind of open up. So enjoy the journey getting there. Slowly float on up. Maybe you can keep your eyes closed as you make your way to pentacle if that's what you choose. Just slowly come out of the pose. Bolster aside, block aside, come on down to your pentacle pose. But don't let the block go too far away because you're going to use it again in just a moment. So come to fully reclined, arms high overhead, legs spread wide if you like. And just be patient here. Patience is not the ability to wait. It's the ability to have a good attitude while you're waiting. So just breathe here through your pose. And have that good attitude, that positive attitude about your pose and what the poses and your practice are doing for you. Put the skepticism aside and just breathe. Check in with the area between your eyebrows. Soften there. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out. This is a brief pentacle pose. If you'd like to stay here longer, enjoy it. I'm going to work on the neck a little bit, and I'm going to use the block. So if you want to join me, grab your block, lift your head up, and place that block at its stable height underneath your skull, and have the edge of the block kind of on the edge of your skull. So your neck is free, and just at the base of your skull, have the edge of the block. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms up or down, whatever you like, and move that block a little bit this way and that, like you do in a fish pose on the blocks. So you feel kind of the sweet spot, the nice big stretch in the back of your neck. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. We're not going to stay here very long. We're going to move on to other things with the neck. But just breathe here for about a minute. Chin is to the chest. Head is resting on the block heavily. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then slowly turn your head to the right. So just feel that block, kind of give you a little bit of a skull massage. Turn your head as much as is comfortable to the right. Arms down by your sides. Find what's comfortable here. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Shoulders are down, away from your ears, working their way toward the mat. Slowly bring your head, slowly is the key word, slowly bring your head back to the midline of the body, and then keep on going as you exhale. Turn your head so your left cheek is closer to that block. Breathe in, breathe out. That's the ticket. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And good and slowly roll your head back to the midline of your body. Maybe now you want to adjust the block a little bit more. Whatever feels good to feel a nice big stretch in the back of your neck. Let's stay here for another minute. Breathe in. Breathe out, shoulders down. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And you can stay here longer if you're liking this one a lot. I am going to move into my new favorite pose of the day. All right, so roll onto your right hip. Keep the block. Here's what we're going to do. Take the block. I like it at its medium height. This is such a great pose. So you're on your side here. Place the block underneath your armpit. So your armpit's kind of right in the middle. Bend your right elbow. Cradle your head. Close your eyes. And just kind of move a little bit here until you find, we'll say, the sweet spot. We're going to stay here 3 minutes. You're on your hip, top shoulders relaxed. Just move a little forward and a little back as you kind of rock your armpit on this block and find the sweet spot or sweet spots and just rest there. Really let the armpit rest. Let all the air out of your lungs soften into that block. And then maybe move a little more forward, a little more back. Just find where it feels awesome to you. 3 minutes to enjoy this wonderful feeling in the armpit. Don't deny yourself this little movement here. Move forward, move back, find where it feels really awesome. Rest there for a bit, and then find a new sweet spot. Full exhale allows you to experience the depth of the pose even more. Try it and see. Big inhale. And a super full, totally lung emptying exhale. We're about to transition to the other side. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Make your way to the other side however you want to get there. Try to minimize the movements. Maybe you just kind of roll over onto the other hip. I hope you're liking this one. I really think this feels great, especially when you add in those little movements. So position the block to what feels good for you and do it all again on this side for 3 minutes. Cradle your head. Nestle the block in. Maybe you have to move it a little bit. Never get it right the first time. True of so many things. And then find the movement that feels great to you. Deep breaths into that sweet spot. Settle in, couple breaths, and then find a new place to rest and breathe again. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. That's 3 minutes on this side. All right, maybe you want to go back and do the other side again and keep going back and forth. I'm going to move into a sleeping swan pose or a reclined pigeon. I'll show you both. I'm staying here as long as I can. I'm going to press on up. How do you like that pose? I think that's my new favorite. All right, so sleeping swan, just like half pigeon. If you want to make yourself there, go ahead now. We're going to stay there for 3 minutes. I'm going to show you an alternative if your knees don't like being in that half pigeon pose. So it'll be a reclined pigeon. So all I'm going to do, and if I'm going to do the reclined one, grab your eye shade or your little towel to cover your eyes. Maybe your blanket on your belly too. For the reclined pigeon, if you don't want to do half pigeon, Bend your knees, bring one leg up on top of the other, create a figure 4 in your legs, and rest here. Blanket can be on your belly, eyes can be covered. Just let the outside of the bent knee work toward the bottom of your mat and stay right here. I'm going to take half pigeon, or we call it sleeping swan in a restorative practice. I use my bolster at the top of my mat. I'm going to send my left leg long. I'm going to bring my right knee up to near the bolster. I'm going to bring my right shin a little more parallel to the mat. I'm going to slip the block under my right glute, and I'm going to rest here. I want to get a deep sensation in my right hip. Left leg is long. A towel underneath the knee might feel good. I'm going to bend my elbows and rest my head on the bolster. Left leg is long, right leg is bent, hips are equidistant to the mat. I'm feeling a big stretch in my right glutes and in that ball and socket joint of the right hip. Deep breaths, softening in the shoulders, and allowing the breath to go to my hips to alleviate any tension there. Maybe sigh it out of your mouth. And as you do that, feel the shoulders soften. And just surrender in the hips. Create space in the hips. And if you want to deepen this stretch even more, maybe you remove your bolster. Bring your head on down to your mat. And if you come down here and you say, no thanks, reintroduce your bolster. You've got to do what is sustainable. You've got to do what you can do persistently. You've got to just let go and do what is right for you. With each full exhale, feel your belly kind of get closer and closer to the mat. Let it go. How far into this could you go if you got your mind out of the way? I think a lot of times it's in our minds where we hold on to tension. We don't release. We hold on in our heads. Try to get your head out of the way. Try to get your mind off of this and let the body surrender. Not much longer here. Breathe through it and try to explore the depth of the pose. One more deep cycle of breath and really let everything go and feel how good it can feel. All right, it's time to move to the other side. If you're on your back, just switch out your legs, bring the other leg into a figure 4 shape. I'm going to press on up out of this. I'm going to tuck my left toes toward my shin. I'm going to bring my right leg out and shake it out a little bit because it's kind of asleep. Kind of just move the hip a little bit, find some motion there. And let's do it on the other side. So left knee comes up by your bolster. Right leg goes super long and straight on your mat. Top of the right foot is on the mat. I'm going to work the left shin a little more parallel to the top of the mat. And then slip on down as I get into position for 3 minutes in my half pigeon pose on this side. All right. Nestle in, settle in, feel the depth of the stretch in the left hip. I'm going to slip my block underneath my left glutes to keep me honest, to keep both hips equal distant to the mat, because it's really easy the longer you stay to just let that hip get kind of lazy and fall toward the earth. Keep it up. Get comfortable. And let the magic happen. It just takes time. You know all the little cues. Soften in your shoulders. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. Let both hips melt equally down closer to the mat as you send your breath to your hips to create that space to make it possible. I'm going to remove my bolster now and come on down for this last minute or so here. Feel what you feel. Don't want to run from the sensations. As long as it's not painful, just feel what you feel and try to get past any feeling of discomfort. One more big cycle of breath. That is your sleeping swan pose, either on your back or on your belly like I am. Let's come out of it. Press on up. Move your legs, remove the block, tuck the back right toes, and just shake out that leg. How does it feel? All right, so now you got a choice. You can do your legs up the wall, or you can do fish. So you can take them nice and long. I'll show you how to do both of them, and you choose which one you wish to do. So if you're going to do your fish pose, have your eye shade nearby. Bolster vertically on your mat. Bring your bottom up closer to the bolster and fully recline. Maybe place your blanket on your feet or your lap. Recline onto the bolster. Cover your eyes with your eye shade or your towel. Arms down by your sides. Maybe snow angel them out a little bit to what feels good for you. And you can stay right here. Maybe you want to split your time between your fish pose on the bolster and your legs up the wall. Or maybe you've already chosen and nestled in to fish or legs up the wall. Let me show you legs up the wall. Again, bring your eye shade or your towel and maybe your blanket. Make your way to a wall And if you don't have a spare wall, you can send your bottom up to the base of a chair and then put your calves up on the seat of the chair. Kind of the same difference. I'm going to scoot up next to the wall. I'm going to bring my I'm bringing my left hip closer to the wall. I'm going to recline, and then I'm going to send my legs up the wall. So, I'm not at a 90-degree angle. I've got a little bit of a bend here. Heels are on the wall. Maybe you cover your eyes with your eye shade. Maybe you spread your legs a little bit and have your heels on the wall. Do what just feels nice for you. Another option would be to bend your knees and have the soles of your feet on the wall, or bring the soles of your feet to touch and open up your knees to the sides of the room, bringing the outsides of both knees closer to the wall. You do the variation that speaks to you today. So we'll be here for about 5 minutes. And there are things you can do with your arms as well. Maybe the arms are down by your sides, palms face up. Or maybe you work them a little bit away like a snow angel and bring them on up to shoulder height or even farther. Whatever feels good, enjoy that pose. Perhaps you bend the elbows generously and reach your hands for opposite elbows. Keep your shoulders down and kind of create like a little square shape with your arms overhead. Pretty intense in the shoulders. Maybe that's not too restorative for you. Maybe you want to focus inward and bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Rest in the shoulders and find peace. Same leg variations on your bolster. If you're doing fish, you could bend your knees to alleviate any tension on your low back. You could bring the soles of your feet together to touch and let your knees open wide. Outside of the knees, reaching down toward the mat. Or your legs can be long on your mat. Do what feels good for you. Come back to your breath. No thoughts. And if you want to get in both your fish pose and your legs up the wall, you might want to move to your legs up the wall if you haven't done so already. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Stay right where you are if you're liking it a whole lot. I'm going to come into a final Shavasana pose now. So make your way out of whatever pose you're in. If you're still on your blocks for fish, just kind of roll off of the blocks. I'm on the wall, so I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to roll off the wall, kind of in a fetal position. Maybe you stay here in the fetal position. I'm going to press on up and I'm going to come back to my mat for final Shavasana. Maybe you're still in that armpit pose. I'm going to take my bolster. For final Shavasana, you can just totally lie down on the ground. No props at all. I'm going to bring my bolster, though, underneath my knees because I like that feeling. I'm going to cover my thighs with my blanket folded over multiple times. And I'm going to come back to recline. Cover your eyes with your eye shade or your towel. I'm going to bring my arms down by my sides. Wiggle my shoulders closer to my spine. And I want to get to a point where I feel totally supported, totally comfortable, totally letting go and not holding on to anything with effort. The weight of the blanket feels good. The weight of the eye shade would feel good as well. Come back to just your breath. No thoughts. You can think those in just a few minutes when we're done. Breathe in deeply and breathe out even deeper. Be soft in your body and be heavy as well. Let your body just be awash in your breath. Take a full exhale. Think of the breath like down around your toes. And then draw it in, feeling the breath go up the body all the way up to the top of your inhale at the crown of your head. And then do it all again. Exhale, allowing the breath to go down the spine all the way to the tips of the toes. And then draw the inhale back up again. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's come into pentacle pose. I'm going to scoot the bolster away from my knees. Spreading the legs and arms wide. So I come into a capital letter X shape. Drink it in. Big breath in. Big breath out. Remember the skull massage we did on the block? Let's do that here without the block. Just turn your head right to left, left to right. Move your neck. Turn your head. Let it feel awesome. And then work your head back to the midline of your body. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes a little bit more. Stretch. Big breath in. And big breath out. Your toes, your fingers, start to wiggle them. Find movement there at those extremities. Work the movement up into your feet, your ankles, your hands, your wrists. Just move them this way and that, whatever feels good for you. Bring your legs back to the midline. Bring your fingers back to touch. Reach high overhead. Stick pose. Big stretch. Exhale. Fetal position. Bend your elbows. Bend your knees. Roll onto one side or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Soften. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly make your way up to a comfortable seated position, whatever is comfortable for you. Maybe you've still got your blanket with you on your lap. Bring your hands to a prayer position, palms touching. Press your thumbs slightly into your chest, lengthen up through your spine, and soften up through your shoulders. Take a breath in and a breath out. Gently blink your eyes open. I hope that you have found greater peace in your body these 60 minutes. How do you feel now? You took a stress number in the beginning. What was it? And what are you feeling in your body now? How do your armpits feel? Are you loving that pose? I sure am. All right, we have a group, a private group on Facebook. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga. If you ask, I'll let you in, and I post some fun articles, and I'll post a good article about that armpit stretch we did. All right, patience and perseverance. Patience is kind of our buzzword for the month. Patience and perseverance has a magical effect to make difficult things disappear and obstacles vanish. Maybe you feel that way in your body now. I hope so. Much love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control to you. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Hello. How are you? They're so peaceful in a restorative practice day. See you later. Bye. I'm glad you're still here. You know what? This week, this month, practice. It's a month of love after all. Practice a little bit of self-love. I mean, be kinder to yourself. Be gentler to yourself. Speak kind words to you each day as you come to do your yoga, not only on your mat, but off your mat as well. Practice some self-love. Be your own best cheerleader. And you know what? Be a cheerleader for somebody else too. Start with your friends. Tell your friends about our yoga. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them the successes that you're having and how good you're feeling. Tell them that our yoga is free for anybody and everybody. Let them come. Let them do the yoga from the privacy of their own home. And as you know, if you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's at www.316yoga.com. Practice the self-love. Work on yourself. We're all works in progress. And just enjoy this whole month of yoga and love. See you on your mats tomorrow.
Yes,